Paano pe sala or a comic book, the graphic novel. Pe lo lu pe wong huan dai chuan no. It's yeah, coi thì pe mo che duo na cho là cho ý ra đây này. Chị pe cu tàu na tàu yêu xong chị cu tàu yêu跑了，反正被追杀的被有忘记。
Hi everybody, my name is Dua Hurd. I am one of the artists in Geisa Studio.
My name is Michael Hurd, and I'm an artist for Geisa.
Hi, my name is Nuchi Hurd, and I'm one of the artists for the Geisa group.
Cú yêu sứ là giờ tụi gặp design nhau cái paper của cái sao nó tụi phải qua lên giải một lần chứ ai phải phong tờ mình gặp vô nhận trả ruộng.
My name is Chu Her. I worked on comics, manga, animation, and I'm pretty much involved in like all of those, from being an animator to a comic artist.
In the past, I have been one of the directors of the animation film Jaimula, and I was also a cartoonist in like the Dajua anthology, and I have also made a children's book just last year called Once Upon a Time in a Faraway Land.
I worked on projects such as the Jaimula feature, and also worked on a chapter for Dajua.
Projects that I have worked on includes Yaimula, or Exodus is what we call it too. The other project that I have worked on is Dajua, and the latest project that I have worked on is called My Affection.
Geisa really began as a tutoring session to really it's just to teach our siblings and teach our younger brothers and sisters how to draw, how to appreciate art, and then it just kind of went on to like collaborating. Like since we're doing this anyways, we might as well, we could do a project together, and I think that's really where it started. And we took a story that Dua was working on, comic form, and then we just kind of translated that into an animation. And it's really basic animation. It's we were just like learning the process of it. I mean, there weren't a lot of resources at the time, and YouTube wasn't huge at the time either. So for us, it's just learning it by ourselves, and then none of us took any classes or whatnot. So we're all self-taught.
When I was young, I really didn't like to draw. I think my older sister and my older cousin, they kind of influenced me to draw and everything. And then I think ever since then, I just started drawing whenever I can with them, and then it just became like a thing where I think I just like to draw after that. So that's how I got into it, and I think more so taking art classes in school, like in middle school and high school, and then just college, just kind of pursuing that.
Well, I guess it first started out with like games, video gaming. I see video games when I was younger. My cousins were playing them, and I'm like, oh, that's so fascinating. That's so like cool. So I say that, well, why don't I start creating my own stories? And then eventually I got into drawing and art and illustration, and then eventually evolved into comics and writings.
I think comics and animation and graphic novels should be something to pursue, because right now it's very Latin, and it has potential, but it's something that I'm afraid that the community isn't really picking up on. And like reading or like literacy, it should be something of importance. It should be something that we should pick up on, so we can leave behind something for the future generation, or just in general. It's another way of storytelling, another way of sharing ideas.
Stories that I would like to tell are mostly heartwarming stories, things that like touch on human heart, or things that people can relate to, because that's how I want my viewers to relate to. Like if there were to be a segment or a part of my story, I feel like, oh yeah, this character is possible, this story is possible, or sometimes some scenario might not even be possible at all. But the important part is that to create characters that have like humans or emotions that other people or other readers can relate to. And I think that's really important when like creating stories and characters.
Cái đá nên cho cô mình giờ cái phải chỉ cho tin này cái phải chỉ cho tin giảm lòng như cái đá này cá mè giờ cho cô mình giờ ý do cái dòng là cái đá này thì cái đá này cho tin là bỏ vì giờ chỉ cho suy lù và sau tin là lúc sau họ này cũng sẽ thấy họ này có nhà mong nghĩ rồi thì có nhà chỉ chứng rồi là sẽ ta rồi tiếp tục cái dạng chia cái dạng trong cho
I think right now, like I like telling stories that kind of like taking ordinary experiences and just making them more meaningful, or just kind of exploring them more. Like for my current project right now, I'm just working on like taking like an experience from the past, like just growing up as like a Hmong American kid, and just trying to like add more meaning to that and how meaningful it was during that childhood experience. So just taking the little things and just exploring it more.
I think comics is really important because it allows artists to, maybe just not artists, but people to express their own visions, their own imagery of what something looks like, what something sounds like, what something is. And it's, to put it into comic form or graphic novels or animation, it's a great way of storytelling. And like I'm also into like promoting novelties, like how like a novel is written, but then in a sense the imagination that carries over through comics is just in a sense it captures more senses, like the five senses, like sight, sound, and whatnot, and that's what really captures the essence of comics.
Art is really special in a way that it inspires people differently, and it really, at different times in their lives as well. Someone can pick up a book today or graphic novel today and be inspired. Another person could pick up that same book like maybe 10 years from now and be inspired. It's just, it's really, art is just there to inspire people to share stories and to touch, the human heart.
So some of my influences for my comics are early like manga kind of artists like Kumi. But then nowadays, I think some of my I've also like been inspired by like American cartoonists like Raina Telgemeier and how she tells her stories and everything. So I kind of incorporated that more into my work nowadays.
Cô tôi về họ là hai mươi giá trị vì cũng nhận tóc đua vì giờ là đang tóc khen cũng dĩ nhà hai rồi cái mong người rồi tự nhiên nhưng cái giải chia là cái bỏ vì trở lên chỉ mua này chua đó đấy vì cho animation.
I have many artists that I like, but mainly it's those Japanese artists, specifically Kishimoto that done Naruto, and maybe a little bit of Oda that does One Piece, and Kubo that does Bleach. Those are the three main influences that I have and artists that I like. And the reason why is because to me they just stand out, and their storytelling and their visuals are all completely different from one another, but they have like this charisma that like just draws you in.
I have a few favorite artists. One is from the creator of DNAJO, is a Japanese manga, and the other one is Koji Dumbo, I believe. But some of her works include Peter Tian and Kumishima Karen. I like these artists because I love their art style and the way they portray their characters, and that really influenced how I drew, and I grew up drawing my designs and for my characters. What I like best about projects are like being able to jot down like points of like, okay, so this is what I want to do, and then eventually finally reaching the ending point of it. Like the process part is very difficult, but then like the ending is very satisfying once you complete the project. And I think I really like that feeling for an artist when you complete your project.
I think my favorite thing is just being able to work on something that is in a way different from what I've seen in the past. Since for Yesa in general, we kind of focus on like incorporating like our culture and Hmong themes into our work. I feel like that's kind of unique, and just being able to work with like other artists in our group and just like getting a project done. So yeah, just the teamwork. I don't know.
哎呀呀，公演出了我好不好好人呀，我的人切到这样棒一样，好被梦的周末还是叫，中华是水晶梦的话，那没选的话，那看每个梦给你会有眼中都觉得觉得棒。
I liked a lot of it. I like all of it. Technically, it's a life-changing experience. It's fun. It's what I like to do, and just getting the opportunity to animate, to draw comics. It's something that it's a fun time.